Hello and welcome to the Desert Sands for the level 24 edition of Purple is the Chosen One. We're sitting here in the middle of the wilderness, just looking at the entrance to the sands proper. And up there behind us we have Zawabi's area. And there we've got the communal area with the amenities and what have you, and the airship. So, what do we have to share since last time? Well, quite a lot. Quest-wise, I never did finish the Red Fens. Could still go back and do that. We did. What did we do? We did Evening Star 2 in Shindalin. That was a decent enough run. We did. I just did quickly earlier. Don't drink the water in the Evening Star well with the bear. That was a pretty good run too. I've done a few in the of the earlier ones in the catacombs, the level 23 chain in Jurasco. As predicted by one of you, we did well against the undead with our light damage until I had the bright idea to kick the Reaper level up from 1 to 4, upon which we died immediately. Those red crowns, once they start appearing in abundance on the higher Reaper levels, you let those things get near you, it's just game over. Or as they'd say in Aliens, game over, man! Game over! So yeah, I learnt that lesson. Leave it on the lower difficulty. What have we got in the notes? Oh yes, about this acid thing in the last quest. Apparently that is a thing, and they've changed it, but they have a bit of a history, the developers, of kind of going too far the other way. Like if a class is perceived to be overpowered, usually a new class they've introduced, like Warlock or Inquisitive, they'll then go and hammer it a bit far the other way for most people's liking, although Inquisitive is still perfectly decent. Warlock, I think, did receive somewhat of a buff, didn't it, in recent updates, if I recall correctly. So that did get reversed a little bit when they felt they'd weakened it a bit too much. We got very lucky in one of the Shindalin quests and ended up with, I think I've still got it on me because I never put anything in the bank, do I? Where is it? A Drow Maul of the Weapon Master. Even with a Reaper enchantment on, I would think that might be worth a shard or two on the exchange. Or if any of you sees this and would really like that for a build that you're doing, just say. I would. Otherwise, I would keep it with purple for maybe for what's he got coming up? He's got to do barbarian and fighter, hasn't he? Both of which might be two-handed AoE type thing. But I think the Maul build, to be a really good one, I think you've got to be Purple Dragon and the Sylvanas thing, haven't you? So the chances are purple might not make the best use of that. Anyway, it's a damn decent item. I think it's quite sought after. Let's just do a little search and see if we find anything on the exchange. So these are, I think these are all lesser sought after, and the fact that they're listed for this doesn't mean they go for this, but oh, there you go. There's a Drow Maul of the Weapon Master on for current price 93, buyout 150. Another one in a similar area. So I have a feeling if we wanted to sell that, we could get quite a decent number of shards for that. Okay, so that was a lucky find. I learned that the Divine Wrath that we have counts as a heal for the purposes of our mantle, and can trigger the cocoon effect that sometimes goes off when we do a heal, so that's nice. And the red crown's crushing, as I've already mentioned. Right, no changes at all to the gear. I don't expect any now until probably the cap, to be honest. I don't think we have any legendary equivalents of, certainly not of all three of these, I don't think. So yeah, I think he's just going to have to stick with what he's got until the cap. So we had there's no change really to epic destinies, just building back up. You'll recall at 23 I respec to take the evergreen in here. I built back up a bit into the draconic tree for what we wanted in there, the dragon breath mainly, the second core, a bit more spell power, and now I've built back up as far as the energy resist in the sentinel tree. I'm going to go on to take the brace for impact and then possibly the little top up heal as well, because there's nothing better to take, I don't think, in these first few cores. In these first few tiers rather. Okay, what else do we have to share? Yeah, the enhancements. So feet at 24, much anticipated selection. I could have gone with intensify for more power on all the spells. Could have gone with embolden for more DCs. But if you look here, I think our DCs are in a reasonable place anyway. This is outside of Reaper, so we're in the mid to high 70s in Reaper on our big spells. So that's not bad at all. So in the end, I went with the Burst of Glacial Wrath to give us a really decent helpless inducing hold on a short cooldown. That works against all sorts of stuff that we wouldn't normally be able to hold, like undead, plants, that kind of stuff. I think it'll work on elementals, most things. This will deal with it. Not Reapers, but we've got Soundburst for Reapers. We still have our knockdown thing there, Comic Fall, but I don't see that being used quite so often now as this one will be. The plan will be to get in reasonably close and lead with that against stuff that's not susceptible to soundburst. If it is, stay at distance, soundburst it, and then just go from there. We can soundburst, knock it down with the Comic Fall, and blind it with the Holy Smite, and then sort of go in and go for the kill. So with this being the case, we're no longer needing the greater colour spray. I thought we'd experiment and have a bit of a change of direction. So we've scrapped the Fade Arc tree. So we've lost, I think, 4 points out in charisma out of there. Some reasonable defensive things, a little bit of offense. But we've gained in here. We've gained a couple of charisma, so we've only lost a net 2. We've gained some PRR and MRR in there. More PRR. Healing amp. We'd lost. Had we lost some healing amp out of here? No, we'd got the first core in there, hadn't we? So we lost that, but we've gained more healing amp, so that's okay. Sprint boost, which I should make more use of and don't. More hit points, a quality bonus to max hit points. And the big deal, 30% additional damage bonus to helpless opponents. So our thing now, more than ever, is to lead with an attack that makes opponents helpless, Soundburst or Burst of Glacial, both of which have really decent DCs for the level we're at, I think, and then just hammer them. I've seen some good signs of progress on that score. Leading with the Glacial and then sending the Ash in, and then afterwards the Dragon Breath. I've seen crits for 10,000, which is, I think, a decent increase on what we were doing before, and more than respectable, I think, for the level we're at. So we should be even better now at clearing packs of things. The unfortunate thing is a helpless focus build is toothless against bosses, because bosses can't be made helpless unless you have somebody in your group with the is it time stop from the Magus tier 5, which kind of acts like a helpless for, I think it's 10 seconds, and then you throw all your big attacks in. So that's where that is, a complete change of direction in there. I thought we'd experiment a bit with that. So far so good. And this time around I thought we might have a go at the Wizard King in the sands. I don't know how successful we're going to be. Wiz King on your own depends largely on if you're lucky enough to find the right tower the first time around. For those of you who don't know the quest, there are 3 different ways you can go. So ideally you have a group of 3 and you split up and you take one each, which gets you some nice optional XP as well. But if you don't have 3, you just have to make the best of it and hope it's not the last tower that you don't check, because then you have to go one by one up all 3. Also, we do not have a DDO here, and that's going to cause a problem as well if we don't find the right tower on the first time of asking. So I've probably chosen a bad time to do the Wiz King. But we're here now, so let's stick to it. Oh no, definitely not 4. Okay. There are a couple of shrines down here at the bottom that we could use if it's not the right tower that we go up initially. And for those of you who don't know, there is an indication halfway up each tower as to what's lying at the end, so you don't actually have to go all the way up to find out. That's presuming you have high enough intelligence to be able to read the thing, and ours is reasonable. I would expect us to be able to do that. Well, that was nice. Hey, I'm going to take some credit for that. I knew there was some behind me, so I set the comet thing going, knowing they were going to walk into it, and we would also get the ones in front of us. That was beautiful. That's the first look at our newly acquired toy. Not so bad. So if like there the Dragon Breath is on cooldown, I can always use the Firestorm in its place, which is on the short cooldown. Oh, wrong key. We can see all those up there. We've got a couple over there. Actually, there's nothing to stop me. Nothing to stop me really killing them from distance. We've got the big attacks as well are on enlarged, not just these things. Let's try and demonstrate that. So this lot up on the top here, we could conceivably knock them all down, put the Firestorm and the big booming attacks on there without them even knowing we're here. Except they've moved. Oh, that wasn't good. Okay. And I think the big one is impervious to all our attack, so that's not good either. Is everything up here gone? Yeah. Okay, we're going to struggle to deal with the big thing. That was a nice one. The cocoon triggered on the... let's remember the... Oh, remembered way too late the spell power boost thing, the wellspring. That's unfortunate. Now that was quite a chunky boss, wasn't it? I can see the wings being very useful in this section. Oh, put it in the socket, you muppet. Oh, what happened there? I think maybe I cast too quick for my own good and the dragon breath didn't get picked up there. Got some mummy rot for our troubles there. Yeah, these bosses are tough. Now what do we do here? Can we just remove curse? No, it didn't work. So we've got to do that one and then remove curse. I think it's remove disease and remove curse normally for mummy rot, isn't it? So I normally always go up this one first because there's no no gaps possible in the floor on this section. So waiting a bit longer and boom, that's more like it. That's beautiful. 10,000 as promised. So I can't shoot too quickly after doing the ash. I've got to wait a bit and then do the big dragon breath, otherwise the game doesn't sometimes pick it up. So against undead, the searing light's going to do very nicely. One-shotting some stuff. Very nice. That was 7,000, wow. So the helpless damage is really doing well. We got something down here that's going to wake up. Yeah, I thought there might be. This is where Wagon will be quick to point out, if I'd had the searing light standard thing on the bar, I could have finished both of those. Die. Thank you. And we managed not to get the mummy rot. Let's pick up the bronze tokens. Okay. Keeping to the left because otherwise you can get done by those damn disappearing floors. I'm going to go in here quickly, read the little inscription thing. And it's the right one. We are in luck, people. Comet fall. Boom. Thank you. I don't want to go on that floor really. spiders, didn't he? Is there another one out there? Oh, there is. Okay. So yes, you just read this, and if you have high enough intelligence, it tells you who's at the end. And if it's anything other than Raiyum, you can DDO back to the start if you have it and go up a different tower. Or if you don't have a DDO, I guess retrace the steps. Being wary of traps here. No, I would have got plastered by a trap there if there'd been one. Trying not to step on the floor. Oh, don't fall down. Don't particularly want that thing wandering around behind me. Been pleased with how the ash damage has kept pace as we've leveled up. I was underusing that at first, and I'm using it quite well now. Plus it doesn't use hardly any mana, and it's got full metas on it, so that's great. Oh god, another where the dragon breath didn't do anything because I cast it too fast, I think. I'm beginning to learn to use the wings to defeat the aim of things and to get out of shitty situations, or to simply trivialize bits like that. I can see me missing them big time when they've gone. Oh. I think we're almost there. They're vulnerable to fire, aren't they? I think that's the biggest numbers I've seen so far. I don't normally watch the numbers, but that was suitably impressive. Okay, now you're going to be a problem, aren't you? Oh, we've got a mummy over there. Very nice. I just thought for a second there we're underusing the big attacks again, aren't we? I thought, sod it, just stand there and let him have it. So I did. Let's try the same here, eh? Let's just wait until that thing's off cooldown, and then we're just going to hammer the bugger. Everything we've got. Crikey's still up. Oh, he can't be touched in that form, can he? I'd forgotten about that. I'll take the opportunity to go around and collect these little things. Wait until he's a bit more reasonable, like now. Nice. Now Raiyum, as long as it's still like the heroic, I think level 5 spells and below he can't be harmed by, but our things we're using are all top level, aren't they, or near as damn it. So I would expect these to all have some effect, or their spell-like abilities, and I think they count as high level. Let's make sure we use the wellspring. Oh, that's not looking good, is it? Is that nothing happening there? That's really not looking good. Why is nothing happening, people? Oh, that the light did affect him. So the Dragon Breath does a little bit, nothing like I would have expected. The Firestorm does. What about Celestial? That's okay, but he's resisting some of it. The spell-like ability is doing nothing. Let's just keep plugging away. I think we've got this. What about force damage? Don't think that did very much, if anything, did it? Let's let these have the light thing. Go on. Yes. Oh, not quite. Okay, the other. Let's not die. Oh, why couldn't I heal? Oh Christ! Oh, he's plagued me or something. Get that bloody plague thing off. Oh my God, no. I think we do have Death Pact on. Turn away from us at your peril. I've got my finger poised over the light attack, the Divine Wrath, which I think should finish him. Yes! Beautiful! No messing about, people. No messing about. To the victors the spoils, or how was it you put it, Wagon? 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories. I think we managed to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat there, didn't we? But I'll take it. He was tough, so he either had a lot of a lot of magic damage resistance or something, or something there I'm not quite aware of, but he certainly wasn't easy. But I'm claiming it. I dread to think how long that could have gone on had he been in the third tower and not the first. Yeah, that could have been... having said that, let's look on the positive side. We were not really in any trouble until we reached him, were we? We were quite serene, the progress we were making, and some of the things that have caused me huge bother in the past, like those clay golems on various acid builds, we dispatched them with aplomb. So, yeah, I'm not at all unhappy with that. I think we're in a pretty good place, as long as I don't do anything stupid and try raising the difficulty. I think our defensive frailties come to the fore when I try and boost it up above 1, because invariably I get hit, and if it's a red crown that's doing it, I don't last for more than 1 or 2 chunks, and then it's would you like to accept the resurrection, that all too familiar pop-up. Right, well, I think that went just about as well as could have been expected. I think we've demonstrated some sign of progress, albeit in a quest that favoured us, mummies and things against fire. I think, yeah, I picked a good one for us, didn't I? And undead against light. But even so, the end was tough, and we managed to come through it somehow, more by luck than judgment. I'll happily take it. Thank you very much as always for looking. Hope you're having a nice weekend, and I will speak to you in the next one. Take care.